So the device then is we call it the xyloscope, because xylo is wood, and so it has a digital camera, scientific grade digital camera, a scientific grade lens, and then our custom array of LEDs for illuminating the specimen. And in that regard, it's really quite simple. It's basically an extremely fancy USB microscope. So we have just a USB cable connecting the digital camera to the device, and then another USB cable just to use 5 volts to power the LEDs that we use to illuminate the specimen. So this second cable is just feeding power out. And so we get power from the battery, and we can operate for, this is our little developer machine. We use just other lower end Chromebooks, but we can operate for anywhere between 4 and 8 hours depending. The process for human identification and the process for machine vision identification is identical in the first few steps. You get the specimen of wood, and then you cut the cross section so that you get rid of the saw cut and expose the actual cellular features. I'll show you. This is the surface of the table. And see, as I turn, you can see in real time, this is my shirt. You see the fabric? Okay, and then this is a saw cut. So let's do this. So this is a specimen of genuine mahogany, Swietenia. This is actually Swietenia macrophylla, so big leaf mahogany. It's a CITES controlled species, so trade in this has to be governed by CITES export permits and things like that. You can't just buy and sell this willy-nilly. So if we hold the specimen, hold the xyloscope on top of the specimen, orient the rays so that they're running north and south, so the lines are going up and down. And now we hit S, and from the time I press S to when that dialog box pops up is the whole process.
That's it?
Yeah, so I'll press it now. Done.
So what is that? Could you read that? I mean, what is it saying?
So it says the image was saved as, and then gives the lengthy file name, right, with the directories and subdirectories. And then it says the determined genus and species is Swietenia humilis. So there are 3 species of genuine mahogany. There's Swietenia macrophylla, which is what this is. There's Swietenia mahagoni, and there's Swietenia humilis. So the system got it to the correct genus. It got it to mahogany, but did not correctly identify which species. Now, the thing that's really interesting about this is that humans can't separate the 3 species. We can't separate them with the hand lens. We can't separate them with the microscope. Our full data set, when we run it in the laboratory, the machine vision device can separate the 3 species correctly over 80% of the time, which human beings can't do. The larger scale problem that we have in this country and that we have around the world revolves around illegal logging. Globally, illegal logging is said to involve between $30 and $100 billion a year in financial impact, and that's actually a fairly conservative estimate. There are people out there with much crazier numbers. AFMPA estimates that there's a $1 billion per year loss to the American forest products market in price depression and lost export opportunities due to illegal logging. So we're talking about a massive economic problem for the American economy, a massive economic problem globally, and then also huge environmental issues. This is really about doing a field level wood identification, not a forensic level identification. It's a first check or a red flag check kind of approach to this, where if you say you're a Customs and Border Protection agent, or you're inspecting a container that comes in, and the manifest says, oh, this is all pine. And maybe you're a woodworker on the weekends and you look at that and you say, I don't know what it is, but I know it's not pine, right? Right now, for that person who wants to, kind of do their job and find out what's really going on, they have to go to that. They either have to have a reference manual available to them and know how to operate it, know how to safely cut the wood, know how to do all these things, and have that training and go through and use something to make a determination. And that's great. That's kind of the state of the art as things stand right now. Or if they had a device like this, they would go through that same process, cut the surface, but instead of having to get down there with their face and look at the end of the log, they would just hold the xyloscope on the end, press S, and it will come back, and assuming that it's something that the system knows, it'll give them an answer. And you want to look at and have an identification done. Instead of relying on human expertise and testing one specimen in a laboratory, maybe you can have one of these or have access to a device and test 50 or 60 specimens every time something comes in and have a much better sense of what's going on.